Dr. Allan, I noticed that you have done some research that studied Hantavirus and an endangered species of fox. Would you please tell us about this research?
Sure. So this is a project that took place on the Channel Islands of California, which are a group of islands located just across from Los Angeles, and they're owned by a variety of different groups, including the Nature Conservancy and the National Park Service. And what attracted myself and my group of collaborators to conducting work on these islands is that they have the highest prevalence of one of the most virulent zoonotic diseases in the United States. This is Hantavirus, which causes a disease called Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. And it's a very serious zoonotic disease. People become exposed to it through inhalation, and so that's because it is carried by a rodent, the deer mouse, and the deer mouse sheds virus through its urine and its feces, and so when people stir up these particles in dust, they become exposed to this virus, and it causes a very serious disease with a high mortality rate. We became interested to work on this pathogen on the Channel Islands because it has the highest prevalence of this pathogen reported anywhere in North America, so it's very prevalent there, which is a concern. And then it was an excellent opportunity to test this hypothesis that predators might be good for people's health, because there was an ongoing conservation effort to restore an endangered species, the Channel Island fox, which is a really key predator of deer mice on the Channel Islands. And so what was interesting about this project is that we went out to look at what would be the consequence of the reintroduction of the Channel Island fox on human risk of exposure to Hantavirus. We were thinking through the regulation of the deer mouse population. And as we assembled a data set and began to analyze it, what became really compelling to us was that it wasn't just about the Channel Island fox. Clearly this endangered species was important, and when the fox was reintroduced, mouse numbers went down. But what really was the strongest signal from these data was that it was the overall diversity of predators on any given island that determined the prevalence of Hantavirus in the deer mouse population. And so it wasn't really just about this one important predator species, but all the predator species working together. Ecologists refer to this as complementarity, and essentially it's the idea of niche overlap between organisms. And so when you have more predators on an island, you have more overlap in their prey breath, you have more different species that are consuming mice, and as a result, if the abundance of one species of predator goes down, there's another predator there that can fill that hole and consume mice in the absence of that other predator. And so really what we found was that the islands with the highest diversity of predators tended to have the best regulation of the deer mouse population and the lowest prevalence of Hantavirus as a result.
This kind of leads into predators being good for our health, huh?
It seems to be more evidence that conservation of predators and conservation of predator diversity could play this additional beneficial role for human health, and that's really, from a conservation perspective, that generates something we might think of as a win-win scenario. As conservation biologists, we're already interested in protecting these species and preventing them from becoming extinct or extirpated from their native ranges, and now we have one more reason to think that's a good idea.
Thank you very much.